Hello, my friends. This is Meir on a beautiful Friday talking to you. Started kind of a cold day when I ran on the beach, just with my bathing suit, but it was really warming to run and to feel good. Now it became a warm day in San Francisco, and I'm very happy about that. And I want to tell you a story which is one of the best stories of my life. And do you all know Stephen Hawkins, this incredible genius physicist that was diagnosed with ALS and lived about 40 years beyond his diagnosis? Well, I had something similar happening to me, but the drama of it is just amazing. So, in the 90s, a beautiful girl, you can't make girls more beautiful than she is, came to me at the age of 8 with a mom from Hungary. I was then very known in Hungary as my book was translated from English to Hungarian, and people were very inspired by it. And she was financed by some corporation as non-profit, and she was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy, which is very much in the family of ALS. And what it is that all the motor nerves that nourish the muscles and give them orders die, basically. Uh, so there is a great degeneration of those nerves. And by the time that she came to me, she could no longer walk. So I was able to get her to stand for a few seconds, which impressed the mother and the girl and my apprentices. And then uh, I was able to get her to walk in a pool. We have a pool not far from our school, which has warm water, so you can stay there for a while. And she could walk in that pool forwards and backwards, and we were so happy. But the doctors had a stark prediction that at the end of her 8th year, before her ninth birthday, she'll die. Well, she didn't. And next year, the mother came. We started therapy, but I got to the conclusion that while 25 sessions is a long time, that she actually needed twice as much. And I remember expressing it in one other session that I had in front of my apprentice. I didn't think that much that the client, it would make any difference for her, but it did. Next day, the client came and gave me half of the amount of money that uh, one would pay me for the next 25 sessions. So I got support. I gave her another 25 sessions. And now, of course, she was promised to be dead by the end of her ninth year. But she wasn't. And she came to me when she was 10. And by the way, she also was a good friend of my daughter, who was younger than her. And we were able to improve her to some extent. But the mother was being told again and again by the doctors that her death is imminent and will come soon. So when she was 11, she didn't come anymore. And we heard the sad news that her mother died from cancer of her back. And I had a strong feeling that that cancer developed out of depression over her wonderful daughter. And then the year after, her father was about to bring her. The father and the mother did not live together for several years already. But then the father died. So as life goes on, I didn't think I will hear so much from Fanny. But when she was 20, she wrote to my son and my daughter and me, I'm alive and well, and I'm doing fine. I was impressed. Then I learned that she's a motivating speaker in Hungary and that she has a partner. She married a husband very loyal to her, and all of them are doing an amazing work all over Hungary and bringing optimism to huge crowds. A couple years later, as I was teaching a 6 day course in the Black Forest of Germany, not far from Switzerland, a boy came to me from Hungary. He had wonderful parents. His mother was nursing another baby. He was 8 years of age. His father was very strong muscularly, but the boy had a very similar disease. He was walking, but his lower back was arched, so he was walking with difficulty. And immediately I told the parents, I just worked on this wonderful girl who was in a worse shape than their son was when I started to work with her. And we had some very good results. She's alive even though the doctors thought she'd be dead. And they said, we know. She made a movie and wrote a book and mentioned you. That's why we came. So I had the chance to work with this amazing boy who I hope had improved afterwards. And now, fast forwards, 2 years ago, I was in Israel, ready to leave the country, but I was invited to be interviewed by a major TV. Unfortunately, it's one of those things, it never happened, but I stayed an extra day. And uh, I got a phone call the day that I was about to leave, but allow to postpone myself in one day. That funny, now at the age of 32, listen to this, 32, uh, started to run out of breath, and any effort in the hospital is not helping her. I said, she can see me tomorrow. So they flew immediately from Budapest to Tel Aviv, and we worked on her twice that day, and she did much better. And ever since then, they wanted to see me. Now they wanted to invite me on November 14th, her 34th birthday. And this is another thing I want to tell you. After she did not die at the age of 8, 9, or 10, they finally told the girl that by the age of 17, she will definitely die. Well, she's 34 right now. And they're living in a nice remote island and a warm island. So they went away from the cold weather of Hungary in the winter. And they're inviting me to work with her. I will have to postpone it to December. Let's see if that happens because I'll be in Israel until December 10th. But this is such a touching story. This woman, yes, she's paralyzed with her legs, and we were able to bring some movement. She does have scoliosis in her spine, and we were able to stretch the spine and stretch the neck and give her some more breathing. And I don't want to claim that I help most of the patient with ALS or motor neuron disease. This is very difficult, and I lost some of my most beloved clients and friends to that disease. I do help most of the people with multiple sclerosis, big time, and way beyond what they call a remission. And I help people with muscular dystrophy and with polio. ALS is tough, but then there's those few clients that either because of my method or because of their will, I think, is so important, which is beyond the will of most people to live longer. And here we have a wonderful, courageous woman who inspired all of her nation to feel better and more optimistic, a nation where they had the highest forms of suicide out of depression. She was helping them to feel good just because she remained alive was a process that should have killed her when she was 8. Now She will be celebrating her 34th birthday, God willing. And I really think it's a big contribution to the world. So, telling the hair inspiration is so important for me. And I would like to encourage as many of you to see me in my classes and see me in the practitioner training, the basic practitioner training. If nothing else, for yourself, so you will evolve, as I said, that we first work on ourselves, but also to help people get better. Because if Fanny can get better, there isn't anyone who can't. Many blessings to all of you. Meir.